It was late summer of 2019. I was 24 and had taken a break from work to visit my cousin who lived in upstate New York. We hadn't seen each other in years, and I thought it'd be great to reconnect and get away from the city for a while. He lived in a small town bordering the Catskill Mountains, and since I used to go hiking a lot back in college, I figured I'd use the chance to spend a night or two camping. There was this one trail I'd bookmarked a long time ago, found it on a weird forum that focused on paranormal spots and forgotten buildings. According to a couple of posts, it led to the ruins of a ranger station that had burned down sometime in the 80s, deep in the woods. Not many photos, and most of the comments warned people not to go, saying it gave off a weird energy. That, of course, only made me more curious. So, one morning, Tuesday, I think, I grabbed my gear, borrowed my cousin's car, and headed out. The drive wasn't long, but the road that led to the trail was barely visible. It was clearly not a maintained path, more like a deer trail than anything, and it was completely overgrown. Took me about 2.5 hours of slow, careful hiking to get to the station. I was scratched up from all the brush, but eventually I spotted the silhouette of the building through the trees. The place looked like something out of a movie. Blackened walls, warped wood, and tall grass choking the sides. There was a long window on the front side, broken and almost hidden behind thick vines. I thought I might sleep inside at first, but one look at the collapsed roof and the smell of old smoke and mold made that idea vanish quick. I had brought a tent anyway, just in case. I explored a bit. The front door was hanging off its hinges, and the interior was a mess of ash, burnt wood, and rusted metal scraps. There was one room that looked more intact than the rest, maybe because it was made of stone. I wanted to get a better look, but I didn't trust the floorboards. They sagged with every step and creaked like they'd collapse if I moved too fast. So I backed off and decided to set up camp a little ways away, maybe 300 feet from the ruin. As evening settled in, the forest sounds changed. Birds vanished and were replaced by frogs, crickets, and that low hum you hear when the world goes still. I started a small fire, had a snack, and just sat there watching the flames flicker under the dark canopy above. The clouds were thick, and I couldn't see much of the sky. That's when I heard something. It was faint at first, like shifting weight on old wood, followed by a louder creak, almost like someone had leaned on a broken staircase. It came from the direction of the station. I froze, staring through the dark, but I couldn't see anything. Maybe a piece of the roof caved in, I told myself. Old buildings make noise all the time. Still, I couldn't shake the feeling that someone had just stepped inside. About 30 minutes passed in silence. I kept throwing small branches into the fire, trying to keep it going strong, but my nerves were getting the better of me. Eventually, I decided to go back and check. I couldn't sleep without knowing. I grabbed my flashlight and headed toward the station. It looked worse at night. The light barely cut through the thick dark, and shadows seemed to twist in unnatural ways. When I reached the building, I stopped cold. The window, broken before, now looked like something had been watching me through it. The vines had been cleared away. That wasn't like that before. I moved to the front door. It was now shut tightly. Earlier, it was barely hanging. I reached out and tried to push it open, but it wouldn't budge. Then I noticed something that chilled me to my core. Handprints. Dozens of grimy black handprints smeared all across the door and frame. Some small, others big. Fresh. I whispered, "Hello." No answer, just the wind. Or what I hoped was the wind. My body screamed at me to leave, so I turned and rushed back through the trees to my camp. As soon as I got close, I saw the smoke. My fire was out, like someone had thrown dirt over it. Not a single ember glowed. I looked around, holding my light up. Is someone out there? Silence. Then I heard it. A slow exhale, or maybe a breath being drawn in just beyond the trees. I backed toward my tent, heart pounding. I could see nothing, but I felt watched, like whoever or whatever had been inside that station was now standing just beyond my view. Then it started. A laugh, low, crackly, and just wrong. Not like a funny laugh, but like someone trying to hold in madness. It wasn't close, but it wasn't far either. It felt like it came from all around. I didn't wait. I packed what I could in under a minute, left half my stuff behind, and ran. I didn't even bother following the trail. I just kept the direction of the road in mind and moved as fast as I could. The forest felt like it was closing in. I could still hear that laugh now and then, like it was closing in. I could still hear that laugh now and then, like it followed me. But no footsteps, no movement, just that laugh, fading in and out like a ghost. I made it back to the car, out of breath and shaking. I locked the doors, started it, and drove off, not even caring about the scratches the trees left on the side of the vehicle. Now, 6 years later, I still dream about that place. I've never gone back to those woods. I don't plan to. Because whatever was there, it wasn't just an abandoned ranger station. Something else was watching. And I'm not sure it wanted me to leave.